guys, welcome to our second read aloud of the Keenland Read Aloud edition on my special YouTube channel that I almost didn't know how to do, but now I know how to do. So we are going to focus on two skills today. One of them is predictions and one of them is retelling. We have studied both of these. The kids should already know how to do these things, right guys? But I made a couple little anchor charts. So before I tell you about the book, I'm going to tell you about what our skills are that we're focusing on. So we're working on predictions. So say, read the title, look at the pictures and the words. Good. And then think to yourself, what do I already know and what do I know so far? So if you're looking at the title of a book and maybe you've read it before, maybe you haven't, what do you know and what do you not know? Predictions work especially well for books you have not read before, but you can also practice them with books that you have read. Even though you know what's going to happen, you can still say, I predict blah, blah, blah is going to happen. This is going to be a story that you guys might think you know. You might think you know what happens, but I think it might end a little bit differently than you expect. So, number 4, make a prediction. I know blank, so I predict blank. For example, if you were reading the book, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, I don't know if you guys have read that one, but the boy constantly is saying that there's a wolf, and he's protecting his sheep, and there's not actually a wolf. And then one day there is actually a wolf, and the wolf eats all the sheep because the boy is lying basically the whole time to try to get the townspeople to come. I can't remember that whole story exactly. There's a lot of different versions. Anyway, I know that would happen, so I predict. So I know the boy is lying to the people in the town a lot, so I predict that the wolf will eat his sheep. And then what happens? It's exactly what happens. So those are predictions. That's a really good skill to practice in every book you read. Make sure that you're making predictions before you start reading it. Number 2, we're going to focus on after we're done. Well, a little bit during and mostly after we're done. I tried to write it in curly letters. It says retelling. So this is an interesting anchor chart I found, but I love the way that it is laid out. So it's a little hand, and when you retell a story, you talk about the setting, there's a little house, the characters, who was in the story, animals, people. What was the problem? Uh-oh, I see that there's a little lock right here, so that actually shows that there's a problem. There's a lock, it's locked. I wonder how to figure it out. Then this is the events finger, so this is a little roller coaster that goes beginning, middle, end, all the way to the end. And so you tell what happened at each part of the story, and then at the end, this is the solution. Hey, the solution here is they found the key, they unlocked the lock, and there we go. And then at the end, you can also talk about the message. The message of a story is what you learn or what the author teaches you from the story. So there's a lot of different things that you can learn from that. But like the Todd Parr book that we read on Monday, the Peace book, was that you can find peace everywhere, right? That was the message. There weren't exactly events in his stories because he just kind of writes about a lot of different characters and settings. But this book that we're about to read right now has events. So retelling and predicting. Let's focus on those two. If you want to take a screenshot of either of these, you can go back into the video and just go backwards and then screenshot retelling and screenshot predicting. Or, you know what? Why don't I just I'll put a picture of each of these on the dojo page when I post it. Yay! It's fun to be able to share all this stuff with you, even though I can't be with you in person. Okay, so here's book number 1, and we're only reading one book today. I don't know why I said book number 1. Also, welcome to my basement. Colin normally works right there, but he went into the spare bedroom downstairs to work because oh my gosh, I just realized something. What did I forget to do with my T? Cross your T's and dot your I's. What did I forget to do with my T, you guys? Retelling, retelling. I forgot to cross my T. I just looked down at my chart and realized that. Anyway, I'll go back and do that when I have my marker. Anyway, so thank you, Colin, for being in the other bedroom, because Clara wakes up every time I'm reading upstairs right now. She hears me and wants to come outside, so she's napping, which is why she's not down here right now, and I have some time to spend to read with you guys. So, without further ado, this is called Ninja Red Riding Hood. Take a look at the cover. What do you think is going to happen in this book? Just looking at the title and the pictures, I bet you can tell. You might also know a little bit about the Little Red Riding Hood and the story, so you can use your background knowledge, we've talked about that, what you already know, to find out more. So this story is written by Corey Rosen Schwartz and illustrated by Dan Santat. And it's a Scholastic book, so you could probably find it online. Has a lot of text features, which is really fun, so lots of bold words and big pictures. So I'll try to back up so you can see both pages. Okay. Once upon a ninja-filled time, a wolf couldn't catch any prey. He kept getting licked, and by dinner he kept getting licked by the dinner he picked, and he was growing more ticked by the day. He kept getting, I don't know, you guys might not know the word licked. Licked means like you got whacked. He kept getting hit by all of the people, or all of the characters that he's playing against in the fights. He doesn't look very happy, does he? His belly was aching for bacon. I'm wasting away, he complained. To huff and to puff was no longer enough, so he snuck into school to be trained. What kind of school did he go to here? What is this? Is that karate? If you said karate, you would be correct. He's aching for bacon. That's what his belly... See, this is like a text feature. He said aching for bacon, which means he wants to eat some pig, which is bacon. He wants to eat a pig, and that was the picture that goes with the words. Do you guys notice anything else about the words? Are they just normal words, or do they do something special with their fluency and their rhythm? Did anybody say rhyming? Some of the words rhyme. Bacon, aching for bacon, and wasting away, he complained. To huff and to puff was no longer enough. Those words rhyme. So it's kind of like a Dr. Seuss book when we were reading Dr. Seuss books earlier in March, I think. So, he practiced his katas for hours and mastered the whirlwind and wheel. He jackknifed and flipped, and at last he felt equipped to once again catch a good meal. Look at how much his face changed already. It's funny. He looks very prepared. Uh-oh. Just look at this picture. What could you predict before even reading the words? Actually, maybe take a second. Based on what we've read so far, what do you predict will happen? Based on what I already know, I think, because, let's see what those words were on my sign. I know, so I predict, I know, so I predict, Pause the video for a second if you want to talk about it. Okay? So, next page. Drooling with anticipation, he set off in search of some meat. While deep in the wood, he met Red Riding Hood. "I'll bring my grandma a treat," she said. The wolf licked his chops when he saw her and hastily thought up a plan. "There are blossoms that way. You can pick a bouquet to give to your little old gran." Then the wolf took a shortcut to Grandma's, and he thought that he'd find her in bed. But Granny was gone, so he put her robe on and eagerly waited for Red. Does he look like a granny? Does anybody have a granny who looks like that? I don't think so. Let's see what she thinks. Look at her face. Okay. She doesn't seem too scared yet. Soon after, he heard someone knocking. He called out, "My dear, come on in." Don't you look good in your, sorry, he's still talking. I'm gonna back up and reread because I changed my voice and I shouldn't have. Soon after, he heard someone knocking. He called out, "My dear, come on in. Oh, don't you look good in your lovely red hood, but a shame that you've gotten so thin." He's going like this with his finger. Come here. Little Red took a look at her granny and said, "What on earth did you do? I could swear that your eyes have completely changed size. Hey, Gran, are you sure that is you?" "Of course it is me, my sweet darling. The better to see you, my dear. And your ears are so long. Something really seems wrong." "Oh, my girl, all the better to hear." Uh-oh. Just look at the pictures in this page. See what you think. Little Red Riding Hood doesn't exactly look like she's buying it. Look at her really skeptical eyebrows. She's going like this. Can't really do that. Just gets lots of wrinkles on my forehead. What kind of face is that, right? Look at her eyebrows. And those biceps, my gosh, they look massive. And your triceps and delts are immense. The better for hugging, her grandma said, shrugging. Dear Red, that's just plain common sense. And those teeth, they look so much sharper. Why, yes, all the better to chew. Ooh, that's some foreshadowing. He jumped out of bed to gobble up Red, but looks like he went down and he bit on his teeth like, hi-ya! She'd gone to ninja school too. She's going, I don't think so. She grappled and sideswiped and twisted and escaped from his clutches unscratched. She attempted a lock, but he managed to block. Then they appeared to be evenly matched. They had the same idea in their training, huh? Just then, they both heard someone chopping. A woodsman, Red thought, but instead, it was Gran in her G. I'm not sure if it's G or he. Does anybody do any karate and know any of that word? You could let me know. So it was Gran in her G. She'd just come from Tai Chi. Don't you dare harm a hair on her head, she said. Oh boy. The wolf took a swing at that instant, but Red deftly dodged the attack. She got a good grip, threw him up over her hip, and the wolf wound up flat on his back. It's a cool page. 2 pictures in one. That's a lot of these pages in this book. All skedaddle, the wolf said in anguish, as he struggled to get back up on his feet. Just a second, you beast. You will not be released till you promise to give up red meat. Though his tummy still rumbled with hunger, the wolf faced his rival and vowed, Ninja Red, you have won. My meat days are done. Oh, Red Chan, said Gran, I'm so proud. It's going to become a vegetarian wolf. What a thing. Do you think this book is fiction or nonfiction? What do you think? Then Red and the wolf bowed politely, and Gran gave him half her peach pie. The wolf was a mess. He'd had way too much stress. I guess I'll give yoga a try. He enrolled at the Downward Dog Center, where his tension began to decrease. He studied with yogis, said no to meat hoagies, and felt at last, truly, at peace. There he is, studying with the Buddha. That is so funny. He looks like he's in a monastery. And at the end of the book, there is the wolf walking across the very peaceful bridge, not eating red meat. And that's the end. So, did you guys like that book? Is that funny? How is it different from another Red Riding Hood book that you've read. You could pause the video and talk about that. So you're comparing and contrasting what's the same about those books, what's different about them. That's where we've done like a Venn diagram. So you have a circle, 2 circles, and 1 circle is what is different, the outside circles, and what's the same is the one that's on the inside. We could do that for another book. We could maybe compare it. I don't think I have another Red Riding Hood book at home, but maybe I could post one online or something. You could compare them. Okay, so now I'm just going to review. Did you make your predictions? Did you talk about what you predicted would happen in the story? Make sure you go back and practice those. And then right now it says retelling, but it will say retelling. And then retell the story. What was the setting? Who were the characters? You can even go back. It's really nice when it's a video because you can go back and re-listen to the story. So setting, characters, problem, the events, what happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end, and then what was the solution? And what message did you learn? The message of that story. It has a beautiful message. It has kind of 2 messages. One of them is maybe changing your diet, and one of them is to not, I don't know. You talk with your families about what you think it means. Okay, Keeneland, that was Ninja Red Riding Hood, focusing on retelling and predicting. I hope you enjoyed it. Probably not this week, but next week I'm going to start reading a chapter book series called Lulu. Miss Allen recommended it to me, and I think she's also reading it to her class. So actually, I'll talk to Miss Allen. Maybe she'll share. Well, I think she's putting them on Class Dojo. Mine are a little bit longer, so anyway, I'll figure it out. So maybe I might do a chapter book next week. Otherwise, I've got plenty of picture books that I could keep reading to you guys, at least for a while. We'll see how many I have to last me. Okay, it was so good to see you guys this morning. It was such a fun video chat. I can't wait for the next one. And I think we're going to do show and tell next time. So make sure you bring something to talk about. Maybe like what you like about it. We can talk more about that later. Okay, guys. Bye. Adios. Nos vemos. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Take care.